8 crazy, brutal, but elegant female Yautjas, explained in detail. The Yautja society is essentially male-dominated, and so the majority of characters represented in the Predator universe are males. However, we shouldn't discard the importance of the female Yautjas who have graced us with their presence in comics, novels, and games. They are as fierce and deadly as their male counterparts, and sometimes even prove to be more knowledgeable and level-headed. And how can we forget the sheer sexiness they bring with their well-crafted bodies? In an earlier video titled 12 Grotesque and Freakish Predator Variants Beyond Movies, we spoke about some of the most grotesque Predator variants and explained the setup of the Yautja society. Before we go into our list, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click from you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. Let's begin. Valkyrie Predator. This meta-predator was introduced earlier this year in the Predator Hunting Grounds multiplayer game. According to the game's lore, the Vikings would gain the attention of a Viking predator and achieve glory from being killed at the hands of this apex beast. However, a few Vikings would also seek to kill Viking predators, and so the Predator Society sent one of their fiercest and most powerful of warriors to seek revenge. This great master killer was none other than the Valkyrie Predator, who was unmatched in terms of skill, stamina, speed, and strength. Valkyrie Predator was introduced in the game, and her sole purpose is to choose which of the slain are worthy of a place in Valhalla. She's a beautiful and elegant predator with silver skin all over, apart from a bit of a golden patch on her biomask. Unlike other female predators, her dreadlocks form a ponytail, giving her a predominantly feminine look. Her body armor is meant to provide prolonged protection from heavy gunfire and therefore covers almost her entire body. Her secondary weapon is the combi stick, which of course can be used as a melee weapon for long-range attacks. Her main weapon, however, is the powerful Norse hammer, a weapon modeled on that of the Norse god Thor that is best suited to close-range attacks. Her signature move is to jump in the air and bring the hammer down when she lands, delivering a deadly blow to her opponents. The Valkyrie Predator also has sharp spears attached to her hands, able to slash through opponents with ease. As far as her stamina is concerned, she is a relentless being and can jump great distances as high as a multi-storied building. She uses typical Yautja weapons, including plasma casters. So, for all of you followers of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch, just know that if you manage to take out a Viking, don't let your guard down, because the Valkyrie will be on her way to exact her revenge. Huntress Predator. The Huntress was arguably the most powerful female predator in the game Predator Hunting Grounds, which was developed by Ilphonic and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Windows. She looked gorgeously brutal in her golden armor, showing off a bit of golden skin as well. Her primary weapon was a combi stick, which she used with flair, rotating and swinging it to slash her victims. However, her secondary weapon, the Yautja bow and arrow, seemed way cooler than the stick. The Huntress bears a resemblance to the City Predator and also to the Berserker Predator, but she certainly has her own charm and personality. People who have played the game will know that she can roar, a sound that is equal parts intimidating and sexy. As far as her stamina and health are concerned, she does lose out slightly to the male predators in the game, though this can be attributed to the fact that she doesn't have full body armor and has a leaner build, which in turn allows for enhanced agility and speed. Interestingly, the Huntress is known to have fought Dutch Schaefer, the character played by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 1987 film directed by John McTiernan, years after the events of that film. The Predator anthology is undeniably one of the most popular sci-fi series. We are well aware of the legacy that Predators enjoy and that they have continued to influence many major films and shows. For instance, in the 2011 film Transformers: Dark of the Moon, the Decepticon crankcase bears a strong resemblance to a predator. His head features a flat-sloped forehead, dreadlocks, and mandible-like appendages around the mouth. We find it hard to believe that this was just a coincidence and that the designer hadn't seen a Predator film. There's also a Predator reference in a 2008 episode of the television show South Park named Imagination Land Episode 2. These references speak to the powerful influence of predators in popular culture. Marvelous Videos respects and appreciates these prime hunters, and you can watch plenty more of our videos related to predators and aliens. We'll leave a few links in the description. Machiko Noguchi. Machiko Noguchi was a human, the daughter of a wealthy man and a loving mother, but after a tragic event, her father committed suicide. In his dying breath, he asked Machiko to regain the family's honor, and the young Machiko made it her life's only ambition to live up to her father's last wish. She soon joined the Chigusa Corporation and rose up the corporate ladder. Ultimately, she was asked to lead a ranching colony on the planet Ryushi. The planet had 2 suns, which made the climate extremely hot and arid and life extremely difficult. She soon gained the respect of the Yautjas when her colony, named Prosperity Wells, was attacked by both a Yautjing hunting party and xenomorphs released for hunting purposes. The Yautja team was led by Deshande, who had set up on Ryushi in order to train unblooded Yautjas and allow them to complete the blooding ritual. He therefore had dropped xenomorph eggs on the planet for the young ones to hunt, unaware that a human colony was also in residence there. When the attack started, Deshande took it upon himself to be the savior of his people, feeling guilty for causing the bloodshed. Machiko was also trying to get rid of the xenomorphs and was helping her people escape the planet, so she and Deshande joined forces against a common enemy. Eventually, Machiko gained Yautja honor, killing a xenomorph queen using only sheer resolve and skills she had learned. Deshande, impressed by Machiko's skills, blooded her as he did with his young pupils, and from then on she lived with the clan in their mother ship. Noguchi used common predator weapons like plasma casters and wrist blades, wearing a biomask and Yautja armor. She is one of the few humans who have been accepted and honored in Yautja society. This 29-year-old woman did fulfill her father's dying wish and gain more honor than he could have ever imagined. Sister Midnight. In the year 2000, Dark Horse Comics and Top Cow Productions published a crossover comic series named Witchblade Aliens Darkness Predator Mindhunter. The darkness is a primal force of the universe, and the Witchblade has powers of the mystical world. Both Darkness and Witchblade get trapped on a spaceship housing dark aliens. A dark alien is a xenomorph whose host was a demon called Darkling. Sister Midnight came to the spaceship with her team of Yautjas to eliminate the dark aliens and save Earth from a xenomorph infestation, but the ship's defense system killed all of the Yautjas and only Sister Midnight survived. Sister Midnight battled the dark alien alongside Darkness and Witchblade. Midnight develops a strong attraction towards the latter and seems to be protective of her. However, this might be because she wants to be the one to kill Witchblade and so eliminates everyone else who might potentially take that pleasure away from her. Sadly, when fighting the dark alien, Sister Midnight is heavily injured and eventually succumbs to her wounds. Darkness and Witchblade give her an honorable send-off, activating her gauntlet's self-destruct mode and shooting the Yautja into space. Sister Midnight was a unique predator in many ways. Her biohelmet and armor bore shades of blue and pink, and she looked more colorful than many other Yautjas. She is one of the few of her kind from the comics to feature pronounced feminine attributes. Most female Yautjas don't have visible breasts. She was a fierce warrior but not a ruthless killer, and she used her intellect in times of need, helping those who required assistance. The great female Yautja completed her mission at the cost of her own life. Let's show some respect. Big Mama. While most Predator stories have male Yautjas dominating the scene, one very famous and deep storyline centered on a female Predator by the name of Big Mama. Her tale revolves around a synthetic trophy wife named Karen Delacroix, who was created to please Lucien Delacroix. Lucien was a very wealthy man who lived on a Skyliner ship near a planet that was infested with xenomorphs. Karen often dreamed of a predator who addressed her as Ash Parnell, and over time she realized that the predator from her dreams was real. The Yautja abducted her and took her to the xenomorph-dominated planet. However, Karen was saved by humans who had also captured another predator. Karen then released the predator, naming her Big Mama. Big Mama developed an innate motherly instinct and felt protective over Karen. She even taught Karen combat skills and other things, just as she would teach any other unblooded Yautja. The Big Mama has immensely advanced combat skills and uses the traditional Yautja weapons and armor. Despite her motherly instincts towards Karen, Big Mama doesn't have any feminine physical traits such as breasts, and looks very much like any other male Yautja. Big Mama was introduced in Aliens vs. Predator: Deadliest of the Species. In this comic, she teamed up with a very unusual accomplice, fighting side by side with a Queen Mother xenomorph to defeat the white hybrids and their king. Such an affiliation of the hostile races is rare and thrilling. However, it is possible that Big Mama is an elite predator, which means she's killed her fair share of xenomorphs in her lifetime. Yaquita. As mentioned earlier in Predator Incursion, Hashori and Lilia joined forces to fight the android General Alexander and his army of xenomorphs. They narrowly escaped, but it turns out that Alexander was still on their trail. Just like Hashori, the Yautja Yaquita also tried to stop the likes of General Alexander, who only wished to massacre the human civilization and stop them from becoming technologically advanced. Yaquita was introduced in the Rage War trilogy, which also brought us the Widow clan and the Wounded clan. Yaquita is part of the Wounded clan, and as you can imagine, she is not at the peak of health. Having lost both of her legs, the only known Yautja to have survived such a tragedy, she is wheelchair-bound and acts more like a scientist than a warrior, though she does have a mechanical lower body. She is more level-headed than her friend Hashori, and different from the rest of her kind as she intends to learn everything about how the universe works. With the help of another elder Yautja named Kalakta, Yaquita learns that before Yautjas, xenomorphs, and humans came into existence, there was an ancient race of extremely violent and fierce creatures named the Drukathi. It seems that the Drukathi have somehow returned, and now seek to regain control of the universe. Despite her disability, Yaquita has proved to be one of the most crucial Yautjas in the Rage War trilogy. She's far more intelligent and calm than any other Yautja, and goes to great lengths to fight for humans. You might be noticing that she's not as brutal as the other female Yautjas who made this list, but we included Yaquita because of her fierce resolve. Hashori. Hashori was first introduced in the comic Predator Incursion, the first part of a trilogy called the Rage War. The following two parts were Alien Invasion and Alien vs. Predator Armageddon. In Predator Incursion, we learn of a group of humans who were forced to seek refuge away from their kind. Initially, this group of humans and synthetics intended to create a new society in the far reaches of the universe, but as they gained more knowledge and power, their intentions changed, and they sought instead to attack and kill other humans. These people created and controlled xenomorph armies with the help of a piece of technology brought by a synthetic called Lilia from a xenomorph research vessel named Evelyn II. Lilia didn't like the idea of humans being massacred and fled with a technology in a spaceship before being caught by a Yautja vessel. Hashori, her captor, was the leader of a widow clan of Yautjas who subjected Lilia to unimaginable levels of torture. She whipped Lilia with a chain that contained little eggs on its tips. These eggs then entered the victim's body, hatching creatures that began to eat her from the inside out, resulting in excruciating and prolonged pain. Hashori didn't care to understand Lilia's background. Inflicting pain was her only agenda. However, when Hashori's mothership was attacked by a synthetic named Alexander and his xenomorph army, Lilia explained to Hashori the importance of the diplomatic mission she was aiming to carry out. Hashori understood and pledged to assist Lilia in her effort. Hashori is one of the tallest Yautjas, measuring a whopping 9 feet tall. Interestingly, she also understands and speaks English. She doesn't wear any armor or clothes apart from a few articles to cover her breasts and crotch area. These 3 unusual traits make her stand apart from the rest of Yautja society. However, another peculiar feature is that Hashori belongs to a widow clan, a group of female Yautjas with dead husbands. But from previously published comics, we learn that the Yautja are not a monogamous society, and the females breed with any worthy male Yautja. Nevertheless, Hashori is one of the most brutal and powerful Yautjas that we've come across in comics. Vagouti. The Predator universe often pits humans against the prime hunters. In one such story published in the novel Predator Turnabout, a game warden and sniper named Sloan protects a part of the Alaskan forests from poachers. He finds a dead bear and assumes it was killed by hunters, but later he is confronted by a predator. Sloan manages to kill the predator, but the story doesn't end here. In the chapter called Rematch of the anthology novel Predator If It Bleeds, Sloan and his wife Mary are hunted by a Yautja couple, Vagouti and her mate Nakande. Sloan and Mary now live a quiet life in the Oregon forests, but unbeknownst to them, 2 skilled predators are after their lives. When Nakande and Vagouti locate the couple, Nakande feels that hunting them wouldn't be a worthy hunt as Sloan is grown old. Vagouti tells him that this man once killed one of their own and shouldn't be underestimated. They both look for other prey and end up massacring a biker gang. This alerts Sloan and he sets a trap for the 2 Yautjas. Despite growing older and slower, his skills are intact. He kills Nakande with a bullet straight to the lungs, and while dying, Nakande concedes to Vagouti his mistake in underestimating the old sniper. Later, Vagouti pledges revenge for the deaths of her mate and the predator from the previous story. She waits on top of one of the trees of the jungle but is ultimately found by Sloane and is shot. Realizing that she has failed to complete her mission, she laughs and self-destructs, hoping to kill everyone in the vicinity. Nevertheless, Sloane manages to escape. In the comics, Vagouti was shown to be smaller and skinnier than her male partner, but she was more skilled and mature than Nakande. She did not underestimate her opponent and gave Sloane the respect he deserved.
If you guys enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and press that bell icon that will help you get notifications. We upload an awesome video every day. Have an amazing day ahead and stay safe.